And we have breaking news as of 7 hours ago. We have breaking news as of 7 hours ago. Um, One of the great defensive players in all of football, Myles Garrett, has requested a trade for the Cleveland Browns. So, what does this mean for the New York Jets? Well, let's talk about it. All right, so Myles Garrett wants to trade out of Cleveland. He says he's sick and tired of all the losing, and he wants to go to a winning team. Now, does he really want to go to a winning team, or does he want a new contract? And Cleveland's going to have a hard time because they gave all that guaranteed money to Deshaun Watson for some reason, um, and and that hasn't worked out. And now they're hamstrung. They probably can't afford Mr. Garrett, and he's got very little guaranteed money left on the contract. So he said, "Wait a minute, I'm one of the best out here, and this is how you're treating me. I want to trade." All right. Well, with any trade of this magnitude, this is the very best, one of the very best defenders in all of football. You got to look at the cap space for the teams. Let's see who it makes sense for to try and trade for Mr. Garrett, because would it make sense for the Jets? Would it make sense for some of our competitors? Well, let's see. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of uh, what do we call this? Captions. Get rid of this. All right. So let's look at the cap space of all the teams. Now, this can, of course, change. But if you look at some of these teams with a lot of cap space, some of them make sense. The Patriots make sense in terms of they got the room to put them on the team for sure. And do they want to give up all the draft picks it would take? Probably not, because they're not ready to compete right now, but they would be in the future. But the problem is they need to restock their roster, and giving up all those draft picks that it would take to get him, probably not a good idea. So they could afford him. Obviously, they would want him. Everybody wants this guy, but do they want to give up all those draft picks that the Browns would need to get? Because they're saying the Browns are saying we're not trading him. Well, he could force your hand now. The by he could stay out of training camp. He could put on a PR campaign, this, that, and the other. They might want to trade him, but the Patriots, do you want to give up 5, 6 draft picks? Probably not. The Las Vegas Raiders, they have the money. You could pair them with Max Crosby and Christian Wilkins, and you got yourself a defensive line. The problem, they don't have a quarterback. They're not close to competing right now, as far as we know, unless they signed a Sam Darnold, say, or somebody like that. And so that could work, perhaps. Uh, do they want to give up all those draft picks? Their roster is not great. Again, do they want to give up 4 or 5 draft picks? Now, the Commanders, their roster's in better shape. They have the quarterback and they have money. This seems like a good option where he could land. Also, the Browns, if they do eventually concede that they want to trade him, NFC team would make a lot more sense than an AFC team. Now, the Arizona Cardinals, they have the quarterback. They have a good team, just missed the playoffs last year. They are on the up and up, it looks like. You add a Myles Garrett to that team, now you got something out there in the desert. So that could be a shot place. Same thing with the Vikings. Now it seems like they're going with J.J. McCarthy. They could run it back with Sammy Darnold, one way or another, full contract or a franchise tag. Chargers, probably not going to go there, but they could. Khalil Mack retiring or not retiring. Thought he was going to retire. Now he's coming back. He's a free agent, so he could fit in. They got the money. The Bears, okay, they don't look like they might be able to compete. They just got the coach. Can he fix the quarterback? Okay. San Francisco 49ers have a surprising amount of cap space. They have a lot of money tied up in their star players, in particular Bosa, making 32. That's about where Garrett's going to want to be, if not more. So, do they want to tie up that much money? I mean, that could be a way to go. Salah would go crazy with it. It would be like mana to Salah, because he would get, his dominant players, and then Salah would just basically be the cheerleader on the sideline, and that's where you want him to be. That's what he does. When he has awesome defensive linemen, his defense does great. So you add a Myles Garrett to a solid defense. Okay, now you're talking. In addition to Bosa and Fred Warner and the boys over there, so that could make some sense. Also, NFC team. Now, but I think then you have these teams in the middle that include us. We can't really play in these waters. We're not ready to compete. We don't have the money. We can free up a lot more money depending on what we do going forward, but we're not ready to compete. We don't have the young franchise quarterback. We don't know, we got a new head coach, a lot of promise, but we don't know how that's going to work. But the team that I think makes the most sense football wise has a little problem. It's the Buffalo Bills. To me, the Buffalo Bills, they don't have the money, so they would have to work. They would have to do a lot of cap magic here. They're over the cap right now, according to this. But their team has to be sitting there going, you know what? How are we going to get past Patrick Mahomes? If we get past Mahomes, you still got Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, all of these incredible quarterback people. And we're sitting here with Josh Allen, the elite quarterback, and we can't get to the damn Super Bowl with him. And we tried with Von Miller. That didn't work. We gave Von Miller lots and lots of money. That didn't work, mostly because of injury. And so what are we going to do? Well, if you added Myles Garrett to that team, you could do a lot. The answer could be Myles Garrett from a football perspective. The Buffalo Bills make a lot of sense. Now, they would have to do a lot of cap work, and that could include Josh Allen's contract and whoever else they have that's a big money person over there. They would have to move a lot of money around, and they would have to work with Myles on maybe making it team friendly, especially the first couple of years. Put the money out in the out years, year 4, year 5, things like that. But they might say, you know what? We have the window now with Josh Allen. How much longer is it going to really last? Hey, this guy takes so many hits. I mean, eventually something might happen. I mean, this guy is incredible, but he runs around like a madman. He runs over people. He trucks people, and that's wonderful and great. But when's the luck going to run out as far as injuries are concerned? When you keep doing that, as he keeps getting older year over year, and we need to maximize him right now. He's in his prime. We can't do it with just normal people. We've tried that. We've had good defenses, but not dominant. You think about the Bills' defenses over the years; they're really good, but they don't have that dominant player. Ed Oliver's really good, but he's not Myles Garrett. He's not T.J. Watt, right? So maybe they think what we really need, and they tried it with Von Miller, and unfortunately he got hurt. So the theory was there with him. So maybe they think, well, Myles Garrett could make it work. And maybe they do everything in their power. They move heaven and earth. They move everything out 5 years, and they're going to pay the price. But they go, you know what? These 2 or 3 years right now is our window with peak Josh Allen. This guy takes a lot of hits, and we got to maximize this right now. We got a new stadium coming in here in 2026. We need to go to the Super Bowl in the next 1 to 3 years, and we'll push all the money out. We'll change everything around to afford this guy. But I think that's what makes the most sense. And then if that's the case, that's bad news for the Jets. If anything, we got to be hoping, if he gets traded at all, that he goes to the NFC. Get this guy out of here. Get him out of the AFC. But if he goes to the Bills, it's like, all right, well, the Bills will just continue dominating the AFC at the very least for the foreseeable future. And, our team will just continue to probably be in the ghetto. As I've often talked about the NFL being a city with middle-class, gated community and ghetto, the Jets are in the ghetto of the NFL. And if old Myles Garrett goes to the Bills, guess what? We're staying in the ghetto for at least for the time being. So let me know what you think about all this in the comment section down below. There's also a new button down there called the Join button. You might want to click it and see what that's all about. And I will see you next time.
If you've made it this far, you made it further than most. You are probably one of the most elite video watchers on all of YouTube. That being the case, a secret mission awaits your presence, if only you will take action. Click the Join button below this video to learn more. Click the Join button now to join an elite force of outlaws where adventure awaits and the thrill of living on the razor's edge is ever present.